what are our methods, right? We get this question all of the time, and we want you to fully know and understand exactly what it is we do, because you're probably going online and reading a ton of information. It's like, should I demand feed? Should I schedule feed? Eat, play, sleep? What should I do? All this kind of stuff. Okay, so let's boil this down into really, really simple terms. Okay, so sleeping is baby having the skill from going from fully wide awake to fully asleep without the help of anyone or anything. Right? That's the actual definition of sleep. So if we want to achieve something, we have to know what that actual definition is. And that's what we want to do. So we're going to break this down into several different components. Babies typically need two things to sleep through the night. Number one is that they need enough calories in their stomach to sustain them through the night. Right? So if we want them to not have a feeding in the middle of the night and be well fed and taken care of and all their needs met, then they have to have enough calories in them to sustain them through the night. The second thing that they would need then logically is a stomach big enough to hold enough calories to sustain them through the night. Now, typically the combination of baby being able to get enough calories throughout the whole entire daytime and having a stomach big enough to hold all those calories typically happens around the 8-week mark. So we teach 8 hours through the night by 8 weeks old. Now, there's, again, two more things that are vitally important as far as methods, right? You have to essentially stabilize metabolism, and then we have to teach baby the actual skill of going from fully wide awake to fully asleep without the help of anyone or anything, and connecting the REM cycles. So the first absolute most important thing that we do is we bring you in and get you on a schedule, right? We have to have the appropriate amount of feedings. Baby has to be awake enough and hungry enough to take full feedings on the proper schedule, have a proper amount of wake time and a proper amount of sleep time throughout the whole entire day before we even start to do things at night. Good nights, they start with good days. Okay, you want to have a good night. It starts with a good day, stabilizing baby's metabolism. So many parents don't get baby's metabolism stabilized. Then they go to night and then they let their baby cry, and it's disastrous because their baby actually needs to eat during the nighttime because they haven't set things up with a proper daytime. So as we do that, we eliminate all the different variables. We know baby's fed and everything's good, that he's not actually hungry because we've done our job during the daytime. And that allows us to then step two, after we've stabilized baby's metabolism, step two is teaching baby the actual skill of going from fully wide awake to fully asleep without the help of anyone or anything. So that involves connecting REM cycles. And again, think of the dolphin, right? The dolphin goes deep down underwater, which kind of mimics deep sleep in a baby's sleep cycle. And then they come up out of the water, just like mimics light sleep, or baby wakes up. That's kind of the period baby wakes up. So if your baby wakes up at X amount of time in the middle of the night or every 2 hours or whatever it is, they're coming out of a sleep cycle. And we actually have to teach them the skill of bridging that REM cycle, because that's then becomes their ability to put themselves back to sleep to do that. So in order to do that, after we know baby's had a solid day of great feedings, everything's fine, then we have to teach them the skill of doing that. And yes, that involves crying. It absolutely does. Okay. You have to give your baby enough time to learn that skill of getting themselves back down into the next REM cycle without the help of anyone or anything. Okay. And when we come in and we do that, when baby wakes up or we feed them immediately, we're training in the negative, right? We're continuing to perpetuate what we don't want to have happen. And then that feeding gets associated with them having to go back to sleep, right? So as we teach them the skill of doing that without the help of anyone or anything, that's actually sleep and the core definition of baby sleeping through the night. So what are our methods? We first stabilize a baby's metabolism throughout the whole entire day, because good nights start with good days. And then we have to teach baby the skill of going from fully wide awake to fully asleep without the help of anyone or anything. And yes, it absolutely involves crying, because we have to give our baby room to learn that skill. Now, there are really good ways and really bad ways to do crying. Okay, I alluded to it a little bit ago, but if you don't stabilize baby's metabolism and you just let your baby cry at night, That's a really, really bad plan. And that's where crying it out gets a really bad rap. What we do, again, is stabilize baby's metabolism. And then we're going to give your baby an opportunity during the daytime first, because we don't fight the big nighttime battle first. We start sleep training during the daytime, okay? And if you go to daycare, or you're a working mom, or baby goes to daycare, no problem. We've got that covered. We show you how to do it anyways. And then we move into the nighttime battle, so we don't have to fight the big nighttime battle first. And that's the good way to do crying, okay? We're going to give baby some time to work it out. And then if they don't get it after X amount of minutes, then we're able to go in and comfort them or feed them or do what we normally have done. So they're not going to get it the first time we give them some time, right? They're probably not going to give it the second time that we give them time to learn it. But after, the fourth and fifth time that we give them, they're actually going to be able to put themselves to sleep in a timely fashion before you would have to go in and attend to them. So you need to be okay with crying. And here's the deal. Your baby probably cries anyways. Okay. We call it building cry equity. And what that means is that we just show you how to put that crying to work to where your baby is actually learning something. It's moving towards something. It's like renting a house versus, or buying a house versus renting an apartment. You're going to pay that same $1,000 a month. If you pay that into a home, you're building equity, right? If you're doing that just as rent, you're not building equity into that. So we're going to take that. We're going to show you the fastest, smartest, best way to do those things. That's getting everyone the results that you're seeing in the testimonials. So go and watch those if you haven't. And we're going to get your baby sleeping through the night very, very quickly. The cool part about that is, like I said, is that our internal clocks are meant to be changed very rapidly. So if you're doing this right and you're doing it properly in the methods that we teach you, in the ways that we stick with you and teach you, which we'll talk about in the other videos, it happens really fast. Most parents get their babies sleeping through the night in less than a week's time. A lot of parents do it in 3 to 5 days. Some even do it on the first or second night, but we're able to shift the internal clock, get them on a new schedule. We'll show you how to stick to that schedule and get that baby sleeping through the night very, very quickly, fast, in a fast way, in a smart way that's logical and makes sense, that meets all your baby's needs and gets everybody sleeping through the night healthy, happy, and growing.